And welcome back. I know this is kind of a quick succession after the previous video that I put out, but I've got quite a bit of film that I need to get through to kind of get caught up to where I actually am, and so here it is. As you can see, I'm in the process of actually putting the left skin on. There's quite a bit of prep work that goes into this, and I've kind of skipped over most of it. There's a lot of parts and pieces that need to be prepared, deburred and all that kind of stuff, and as I've said before, I'm trying to kind of limit how much of that process that I'm including in these films, just because it's just tedious work. So here I am finally getting the skin on. As I had discussed before, when you rivet the center column and that aluminum block onto the side skin, it kind of just helps to align the skin and hold it in place and all that kind of stuff. And so now just getting ready to move forward. One of the next steps is going to be to, and you'll see it here in just a little bit, but next step is going to be to put in that Pro Seal along the firewall and then a little bit along the upper longeron. And so I had to kind of delay myself a little bit as I waited for another shipment of that stuff to come in. I've started just ordering the smaller tubes. I think they might be a 6-ounce tube, but it's a small tube of the Pro Seal that you just kind of mix up and then put in the dispenser that you'll see here. But I'm at the point now where I'm not using a whole lot of it at one time, and it's kind of dispersed between several sections of where I'm going to be using it, going forward. It's not like the fuel tanks where you're going to use a lot of it at one time. So I had those larger tubes. So once you get done with the fuel tanks, I would recommend having maybe 6 or 7 of those small tubes on hand, just because you're going to get to around the firewall several different parts that are not close together as far as where in a construction portion, timeline wise. And so you're going to need several of those smaller tubes just so you don't waste a whole lot of Pro Seal. So I've got everything in place. I'm starting to actually rivet the skins to the fuselage now. So it's started to become a tub, a fuselage. And it's kind of a neat process as I go through this. And like I said, there's a lot of small parts that go along into the framework for the side skins. But overall, it was neat to go through and just kind of see how it's finally going to come together and look like an actual fuselage. As I've talked to you before, there's a few mistakes that I've made, and the one that was the most difficult to recover from was that lower longeron. So, I've said it before, and I'm sure I'll say it again, just that attention to detail, really reading each step, and then not just a step, and this is where this one got me, is when it refers you to the diagram, diagram 1, 2, or whatever it is, to kind of show you what it's referring to in the step. This one on the lower longeron, it said trim this part of the upper and lower flanges, and I just saw upper, and so that's all I trimmed away. And it was very difficult to recover because I had it completely installed, it was riveted in place, and there was no way that I was going to be able to take it out to fix it. So I had to do it in place, and that's where I talked to you before. I had that pencil extension for my Dremel and with a cutting bit, and it was a real pain in the butt. So anyway, here you see a lot of the framework has been put in. There's still some more pieces to go with this, but this is a good portion of it, so you can kind of see what it looks like. I don't remember that any of this was too terribly difficult to access. It was just a matter of making sure there are some parts where you don't rivet all the way to the end, because that's where the tail cone's going to come in and kind of mesh into this. But so you just got to pay attention. And then here you see me actually putting on that Pro Seal, and you kind of want to work at a quick pace, and so I did both sides. So I waited until I got the right side caught up to where the left skin was. so that I could actually do this on both the left and right. Again, trying to minimize wasting the Pro Seal as best I can. Try to use it as efficiently as I can. So I wanted to kind of take a second and say thank you to those who continue to watch these videos, and especially those who are new to the channel. Welcome. Normally I typically have waited until the end of the video, and I realize that not everyone watches the entire thing, so I wanted to kind of throw that in a little sooner just to get the opportunity to say thank you. I really enjoy putting these together, and that interaction with people, especially those who are in the RV community, is amazing. It's tremendous. Especially those who are building RV14s. It's great to kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and those who are building others, RV10s. There's several that I watch, and a few that I interact with on a regular basis. Jim with his RV10, and he's working on the electronics portion. That's something that I'm going to get into pretty soon. So these types of videos are awesome, and so I just really wanted to throw that out there. That welcome to the channel. If you have any comments or questions, by all means, throw something down on the comment section. I'll get back to you, and just I love talking shop and talking about RVs. So this community is a lot of fun. So welcome, and thank you for watching. Other than that, I think I've mentioned before that I'm trying to work to a timeline on this project. I'm hoping to get the entire frame done on wheels, ready for avionics and engine installation by the end of next year. I think that's very doable. I've got my next two kits are coming in about a month, first part of December, and that's the Firewall Forward and the finishing kit. I don't know exactly what all is entailed with those, other than I know the landing gear, the engine mount, the canopy, things like that come, but brake systems. So I don't know how labor intensive those next two kits are actually going to be, and how long those two kits actually take to finish. I know it's going to be a lot of the fiberglass work and things like that, so there are some tedious parts, but hopefully they're not that long. And so I'm at the point where I'm getting ready to join the tail cone to the fuselage. I've had my tail cone stored out at my hangar about 45 minutes away, and so I'm going to have to bring it over, and then my wings that you see behind me, take them over to the hangar for storage until I'm ready to close them up. And so my goal is by the end of next year to be ready and at a point to where everything is put together, and I can start working on the avionics portion of this. And again, I think that's very doable. But with all the projects that I've got going on, with finishing my business administration degree through Arizona State University online, teaching my daughter to drive, which has been interesting, and then the other various projects and just life in general that happens. So I've got a lot of things that I'm juggling, but with all that, I'm trying to get these videos out on a regular basis, and trying to get this project done. So we'll see how it ends up going, but like I said, I think that my timeline is very doable to get this done by the end of next year. So anyway, with all that said, I think I'm going to leave it off here. Again, for those who continue to watch these videos, I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.